Hey now, what is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just needed to talk spoilers for Star Wars Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker. There was so much to talk about. It was even hard to do a non spoiler review for this movie, but I'm glad I am able to do it right here, right now. Let's jump right into it. At the beginning, you see that Emperor Palpatine is still alive. What? I know. I'm not even sure that the movie did a good job of explaining how he was still alive, if it was believable that he'd still be alive. You saw him hooked up to some tubes, and obviously people were keeping him alive. He was very weak at the beginning. He doesn't become the full fledged, powerful Palpatine until the very end after sucking the life force out of Rey and Ben. But we did see him. I like that they did bring him back though. They there is a line I think where they say that the Sith that there is some abilities that they could do because of the dark side that maybe they could be resurrected. Sure, fine, it might be there in passing, but I do think we need a just a better explanation for it. Either way, though, I like that the Emperor was here. He makes more sense as a villain than Snoke ever did. I just thought Snoke was a cheap imitation, almost a carbon copy of what the Emperor really was. And so to have that line where the Emperor kind of just says that he created Snoke, that Snoke wasn't real. You see these tubes that show Snoke, a bunch of different Snokes in there, and that he I guess was just created in a lab and cloned and manipulated by the Emperor like a puppet. I don't know. It's all kind of weird. It's all kind of convoluted. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, why didn't we just have the Emperor there from the beginning? If we're being completely honest, seems a little shoehorned. Seems a little like, let's just go with this because JJ didn't really care for some of the stuff that Ryan Johnson did. At least that's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. Chewie dying, at least we thought he had died on that ship that was destroyed by Rey when she used her weird lightning powers. I was pretty upset. I was pretty pissed, and so was the audience that I was in. So believe me, we were more than glad to see that he wasn't on that ship, that he was on a different ship, and that he was still alive. Because for anybody who was crapping on Rey as a character, oh, she's too powerful, oh, nothing makes sense, oh, she's not that interesting, her killing Chewie would not have helped her cause in case any better. But luckily, he's not dead. Finding out that Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine, I loved. I did. I know that some people liked in The Last Jedi that her parents were nobodies, that they were filthy junk traders, and that they sold her and just took off, and that she wasn't anybody special. She wasn't in the story. The idea of somebody who is nobody but can come in and become the hero if they choose to be. There is something interesting about that, I will admit. But having her connected to Palpatine, having her have the visions of her going evil, going Sith, and supposedly supposed to take the mantle, but she chooses to go good. That's just more interesting to me. Call me a shill if you want. There's been plenty of Disney and Star Wars movies that I have crapped on in the past. I bought this a lot more, and I believed in this portion of the story a lot more. Leia using her force abilities to contact Ben one last time and then dying. That was something that I thought was very tasteful. I liked how they dealt with the passing of Leia. It made sense to the story that she would go in a similar way that Luke did, but she did it trying to save her son one last time. I would assume that the scene where Han Solo and Ben have that last conversation that makes him throw the lightsaber and fully join the good side. I assume that was originally supposed to be Leia, but they didn't have that footage, so they were able to get Harrison Ford to agree one last time, one last scene. It was nice to see him, though. That was a pleasant surprise. I probably got the biggest gasp reaction from the audience. That was very nice to see Han Solo. But Leia, I don't know how they were able to get so much dialogue of her in all those scenes of her talking about plot stuff that was connected to this film because Carrie Fisher died like 2 years ago. She died way before this movie ever started shooting or even was written, I assume. So I don't know how they did it. I know JJ said that they were going to take some deleted scenes and make it work. But this isn't just making it work. This is somehow creating a person who had died and had not been involved in this production at all to have a full fledged, very integral part to this plot and story in a big way. So whatever they did, smoke and mirrors, maybe they were a CGI, but they're not admitting it for a backlash. Whatever it was, it worked, and I was glad that they did it. Even the quick moment where they show a flashback of a CGI young Luke and a CGI young Leia, and Luke is training Leia, and she had her own lightsaber. Like, we never got to see any of that in a Star Wars movie. Like Leia using the Force, Leia fighting, Leia using a lightsaber. I would have killed to have seen a story where that was possible. Maybe someday, one day, we can still, with CGI, with some sort of technology, we can make that work. That one quick moment, fan service or not, I want to see that happen. Finn and Poe, it was very nice to see them in much better roles, much bigger roles than they were in the last movie. I hated the way Finn was used. It just seemed regurgitated in the same sort of arc that he already went through in The Force Awakens. It was redundant. All that side plot of him going to Canto Bight was just, god awful. So seeing him actually step up and be a leader, to be somebody who wanted to do the right thing, was willing to do the right thing, and to get promoted to general was very, very satisfying for him. Same thing with Poe. Here's a character who, the way how he became a leader in the second movie wasn't all that believable, but here, seeing him afraid to lead, seeing him not exactly know what to do and sort of fly by the seat of his pants, making certain decisions and sort of hoping things work out for the best. I like that part of him. I like the moments that he had with Lando Calrissian, where all you needed to do was work together, just have us, and that's really all that it took. Rose, I feel bad for Kelly Marie Tran. I really do. The actress, it's nothing against her. I don't think she's a bad actress, and I don't think that she's a bad person or anything like that. So the crap and the hate that she got after The Last Jedi was complete BS, and I fully stand with her in that regard. But the Rose character, I couldn't care less about. I didn't like her side plot and her motivations of saving the animals and all the slavery stuff. Just could not have been any more boring. So she's in the background, very much in the background of this movie. She seemed like she was trying to be built up as a love interest for Finn, but that clearly did not pan out. She's just there, and it seems like Finn has more of a love interest with another chick. Good for Finn. Kylo turning good, it's something that I never thought I'd wanted. I never thought I'd be able to fully buy and go along with, but there was something about the way it was done. I don't know if it was Harrison Ford and them sort of reenacting the scene from Force Awakens, but in reverse, or if it's just Adam Driver's acting and how good he pulled this off at being conflicted back and forth and then finally making that choice. Or maybe it was because of his death at the end, because I said, if they were going to turn him good, he had to die for his sins. He had to make a sacrifice, and he did just that. The moment when Rey seemingly dies after defeating Palpatine, and that was a little surprising. I was just like, really? They're going to kill Rey? That can't be. They can't go with that, right? And then so Ben, what he does is they introduce this Force ability where you're able to heal somebody's wounds or even essentially bring somebody back from the dead. And so that's what Kylo does. But this kills Kylo. Him bringing Rey back from the dead, he basically gives her all of his life force and he dies. Maybe he could have still survived it if Palpatine didn't just suck out some of their life force as well. I guess we'll never know the answer to that. But Ben doing that, them kissing was a very like, what? I never really saw sexual tension or saw them as love interests. Maybe some people did see that in the second movie. Sure, the Skyping through the Force, or when Ben had his shirt off, Kylo had his shirt off, and so maybe there was tension. Maybe people did want to see this happen. So okay, fine, you got your kiss. I thought it was very random and almost a little awkward, but okay, fine. because then he dies. And then Rey at the very, very end takes the Skywalker last name. Seeing Luke and Leia as Force Ghosts, watching her was very nice, a fitting end. She gets her own yellow lightsaber. I don't know if anything's ever going to come of that, because supposedly this is the end of the story. But guys, yes, look, is this movie perfect? Is there some plot issues? Is there some maybe possibly inconsistencies? Is there some retconning of The Last Jedi? Yes, that's all there. And I understand if you guys didn't like it for those reasons, have lots of issues. But I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed myself. I had a blast watching it. And I honestly can't wait to see it again. It's one of those movies that I know we'll have some hate. I know we'll have some backlash, but look, these movies are meant to be fun, and I don't always have fun with Star Wars movies. There's been some and a lot more recently that I haven't enjoyed. So when I do have fun, when I can have more enjoyment in a movie than not, it will get extra points. And I think that's what we have here. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below. Spoiler talk here. What's some of your favorite moments? What's some of your least favorite moments? Did you hate this movie? Did you love it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.